Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shannon Sproul. I am author and CEO of SMS Right On Publishing. And today I am your host for Visionaries Talk Back. Today we have author Erick Myrthil joining us to discuss his book, The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle. I'll read you a brief part of his book summary. There is a world beneath the one we live that has such a stronghold over this world that how it has come to be is deemed normal. The world of drug abuse and addiction is one that can't be ignored. The methods as to how many have fallen to its charm began in the orange bottle found in our cabinets. Yes, the orange bottle that bears your name, your address, and your birth date. It's your bottle that has snatched the normal lives of millions and turned them into normal for the sake of the pills they take daily. Teams, which stands for the Erick Myrthil story, shares the story of how the boogeyman no longer resides in his dreams or underneath his bed, but was real and he couldn't get away from him. The boogeyman in the orange bottle will expose the pharmaceutical industry and shed a light on what really happens when the bottle is popped open. Please welcome Erick Myrthil, author of The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
Hey, Erick. So just before we get started, please make sure that you share this. I believe Erick is going to be giving us some very important information, things that we tend to overlook and things that we don't really know what's going on out there. So share this broadcast and we're just going to get started right away. So Erick, you want to start off by telling us a little bit about what led you to this book? Tell us a little bit about your journey, your medical condition. How did you get where you are today?
All right. In 2004, on my 18th birthday, I found out I had to have a life or death brain surgery.
Okay.
All right. After it being postponed twice, I ended up having that surgery on November 22nd, 2004. They were in there and they put a shunt in my head. They mismeasured. It caused the melatonin flow unable to get to where it needed to get, which was the third chamber of my brain, the proper amount. So I basically forgot how to sleep over a 4-year period.
Wow. So you weren't able to sleep?
I was sleeping, but it was different at first. And then after the 4 years, I just was up.
Okay. And so this was 4 years after the surgery you were experiencing the up?
Yeah, I was wide awake after 4 years. And that's when the fun started.
Okay.
Due to my brain digression from me not being able to sleep, they said that I had a stage of it's not Alzheimer's because I was only 24, but it's similar to what Alzheimer's was. So they basically prescribed me Alzheimer's medicine.
Okay.
It was Aricept, 5 milligrams of Aricept. I was supposed to take 2 a night before going to sleep, and the problem with that was that because it causes a surge to your brain, it was going to keep me awake. So that caused more problems with my sleep, which later led, I want to say 6 months later, to me also to be prescribed Ambien. So I was taking Ambien and Aricept at the same time, 2 pills that countered each other.
And this was all to try to help you sleep?
Yes.
Okay.
And then from there, the fact that the 2 countered each other, I went back to my doctor. I'm like, this isn't working. They basically said, okay, we're going to up the Aricept to 10 milligrams, and we're going to move you up to Ambien CR. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Ambien trance.
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, the Ambien trance is where you're asleep, but you are sleepwalking to the point where you're awake and functional, but subconsciously you're asleep. So I was going to McDonald's, spending $40 a night. I was going and entertaining women. I was going to bars, all this without any remembrance of it the next morning.
Wow. So you were actually sleepwalking?
I
And
was
you had
sleepwalking.
no memory of doing any of this?
None of this. And then
Wow.
I did that for how long did they took me off of the Aricept after a year. That was 2009. And they basically kept me on the ambient CR until February of 2010. Then March of 2010, I went with nothing. That was like the spring phase where they said, okay, we're just going to we're going to take him off of everything and see how he responds. Where a month after that, I was so agitated physically and subconsciously and psychologically that they put me on adult Ritalin.
Okay. So wait, let's take a break here. So they went from trying to get you to sleep, wind up getting you agitated and more worked up, and then they put you on Ritalin to slow you down.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I did the Ritalin for 5-6 months until September of 2010, where my neurologist said he's out of ideas. He threw his hands up. The supervising neurologist came up with the idea to put me on Klonopin.
On what?
Klonopin. It's a benzodiazepine.
Okay. Explain to us, because you talk about that in your book. Explain to us exactly what benzodiazepine is.
A benzodiazepine is a tranquilizer. Valium, Klonopin. What are the other ones? Hold on. Let me look them up. Oh, yeah, but I know Valium is one. Klonopin's another. Okay, hold on. What kind of drugs are benzos? Okay, alprazolam, clobazam, clonazepam, chlorazepate, chlorodiazepide, diazepam, estalam, and lorazepam.
Okay.
Those are the popular ones. The prescribed names for them are Xanax, Klonopin, Librium, Valium, Ativan, alprazolam. Yeah. So basically that class of drugs that all these people are having fun with and doing crazy things after, they have been on them so long that now they've lost their mind.
Okay. So they put you on that, and was it helping you sleep?
For the first year, it was everything I could have wanted.
Okay.
And me not knowing what it was doing continued it past that first year. And that's where it got fun. It no longer worked. It was ruining my life. And my doctor was basically blaming it on the fact that she believed I was depressed.
Okay, so let's back up. So after taking the drug for a year, you were able to sleep. You thought this was the greatest thing. You felt better. Then after that year, it stopped working for you.
Yeah, it stopped working to the magnitude I needed it to.
Okay.
And then that's where they started diagnosing me with other things on top of the insomnia, ignoring the fact that these pills basically brought out everything that was caused after that.
Okay. Okay.
And so after that year, they added stuff to it. Instead of trying to solve the problem, they stuck duct tape over a burst pipe and let the water still flow through it.
So they on top of the drug they were giving you that wasn't working, they prescribed you additional medication.
Yeah, to get me to shut up, to make me think that everything is okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So at this point, you're realizing that something's not right. This medication is not working. The doctors are just giving you more medication on top of what you're already taking. What did you decide to do at this point?
I kept taking what they gave me roughly 4 or 5 years until I went to my doctor and complained that I was tired of taking medicine. Let's just fix it.
Okay.
And she basically said, well, in order to fix it, you got to go on these to get off of those. But that way we'll be able to counter the fact that you're not taking the Klonopin anymore by having a new drug introduced to your system that we'll be able to monitor and maintain.
So in order for you to stop taking the drug, the tranquilizer, basically, in order for
Yeah.
you to stop taking that, you had to be prescribed another medication to wean you off of that medication.
Yeah,
Now,
it was a lesser tranquilizer, same class, but not the one I was taking.
just a lesser dose.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what did you choose to do at that point?
I chose to jump. So that was in September of 2016.
Uh-huh.
October of 2016, I started doing my research on what a cold turkey withdrawal would consist of. And on New Year's Eve, I stopped taking it.
Okay. New Year's Eve of 2016, you stopped taking all of the medication.
Well, it was only the one, because at
The
that
one.
point, Halloween that year, I stopped taking whatever else they had me on.
Okay, so you weren't taking any drugs. You're now entering into the withdrawal stage, right?
Yep.
Okay, so talk to us about the withdrawal process and how long you went through that and what you experienced when you were trying to get off the medication.
As far as the experience, okay, the best way I can describe it is hell.
Okay.
I traveled to hell fully alive and felt everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then once I started to get my sanity back, I had to get out of hell, so I felt that too.
Okay. So you said you felt like you went to hell and back.
Yeah.
Give us a little more. Tell me, were you sleeping? Were you up? Were you sweating? And, when we think of withdrawal syndrome, we think about those type of things.
Yeah, it was at first it was just a common withdrawal, the vomiting, the cold flashes, the hot flashes, the extreme panic, the manic episodes, the uncoordination, unbalance, the dizziness, the loss of vision.
Wow.
A withdrawal. And once all the physical symptoms subsided, came the mental warfare. It broke me down mentally. I was suicidal for roughly all of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the battle of my life. It made the brain surgery recovery look like something I would have did for 10 years to not have gone through what I went through last year.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
And how long did you go through the withdrawal process? Was it a couple of months, a year?
I didn't start to feel better until the 300-day mark. So around late September.
Wow. Almost a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now during this process, were you still under the care of your doctor? Were you telling your doctor what you were going through?
To some extent, but she was getting ready to retire.
Okay.
And she basically dumped me off on a therapist. And the therapist understood, but the fact that there's not a lot of research out there for benzodiazepine withdrawal, that there's no centers anywhere for benzo withdrawal. You got to go basically to the psych ward and let them figure it out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I refused. I told them I wasn't crazy. I can get through this on my own. And somehow I did.
Unbelievable. So you wouldn't be able to go to a rehab center for, let's say, heroin or any other drug use or
painkillers. Yeah. But the fact that I was withdrawn from a benzo and my entire system was in shock, there's no sole center in the country that I found out after my research over the past year that deals with benzodiazepine withdrawal and the specific needs that has to cater to it.
Unbelievable. Wow. Yeah. That's just incredible. So almost a year of being sick like that. What kind of quality of life were you able to work? What exactly?
I was out of my mind through it all, but through me being out of my mind came the title of the book.
The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle, yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you how that came to be. Last year, It was around February or March. I was listening to ghost stories on YouTube to fall asleep. Something about scary movies and horror just like it fascinates me to where it relaxes me. So that's how I was getting my quality of sleep, was listening to ghost stories on YouTube. And the one I was listening to on that particular night, like the woman said, there's a boogeyman and it's going to get you. It's the worst thing you've ever seen or experienced. And that clicked. I was like, boogeyman, wait a minute. And then I kept the pill bottle in front of my TV to remind me of what it was that did all this to me. And then she said, boogeyman, worst thing I'm ever going to experience. And I looked and there was the pill bottle and I connected the two, boogeyman, orange bottle.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the love story part is like, because it felt like a bad breakup to win, that's where the love story comes from. It's told by teens, it's told by the Erick A. Myrthil story.
Okay.
Author name.
Okay. All right. Listen, guys, you can get Erick's book, The Boogeyman in an Orange Bottle. It's available on Amazon. So make sure.
Now Google too.
I'm sorry.
It's also available on BarnesandNoble.com, and Google just picked it up.
Okay. All right. You hear that there. It is Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Google Play, correct?
Yep.
All right. So make sure you get a copy of this book. And I think this is something that we all need to be educated, because how many times do we go to the doctor and we say something's wrong and they write you a script? And me, I'm the type of person where when my doctor writes me a script, I'm Googling, trying to find out side effects and what this drug is going to do to you. And it's amazing that some of the medication that we take on a daily basis, if you research it and see some of the side effects, it's unbelievable. I mean, you see side effects where it can cause a heart attack. It could even cause death. And you said I'm taking this medication every day. You know?
And it could possibly kill me.
Yeah, and it can possibly kill me. And you feel like you're in the grips of the pharmaceutical industry, because in order to get better,
you gotta suffer.
You have to take these medications.
Yeah.
But I think that where they fall short is we're not educated enough on the medication that we take. We go to the doctor, they write a script, you take the medicine home and you just start popping it. And you trust what your doctor tells you. And you have to be an advocate for your health. You have to know what's going in your system and what it can cause and what things you can go through. So yeah, I just can't imagine what you went through to get off of this drug. Are you feeling any of effects today from those drugs, or how are you doing today?
Well, I still don't sleep, but I've countered that. I'm using hemp now, and it's helping.
Okay, and what is that? Is that another?
Hemp is a marijuana-based product.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, my doctor, before she retired, she basically gave me the plug to get my stuff shipped out of Colorado.
Okay, and is it help? You're saying it's helping you. Are you sleeping?
I'm getting a quality night's rest. I wouldn't say it's sleep.
Okay. So to some extent, you still are dealing with the lack of the proper sleep, put it that way.
Yeah, like I haven't slept properly since my surgery. So
wow.
I've become immune to it, basically. I can function probably without sleeping for 4 days.
Wow. That has to, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I would think that would have to take some type of toll on your body if you're not getting enough or the proper type of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. But the way I guess my body adapted somehow is it found a way to counter it by when I'm tired, I'll go down and I'll probably be out a good 18 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you do, you sort of like crash.
Yeah, it's a complete crash.
Yeah. I'm just going to read a couple of the comments. We have someone here that says that's why being educated on holistic alternatives is key. And I think that's absolutely true, because those are more natural products that you're putting in your system. And a lot of doctors don't like to talk about holistic alternatives. You do find a few doctors that will talk about it, but not many. And that goes back, and I'm going to let you talk to it a little bit, Eric. That goes back to a lot of doctors being, how can I put it, being in bed with the pharmaceutical companies. There was an article, a news story, a local news story a couple of years ago where they showed some local doctors here in the Buffalo area that were actually getting kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies if they prescribe that medication to their customers. Not was it the best solution for that customer, but just, hey, here's some money if you push my product. So hearing stuff like that, that just makes you like, wow, what's going on? So, and tell us a little bit about your, because I know you're taking it to them. We've talked offline, and you're taking it. You've been to California. You're going to do the talk show circuit shortly. You're trying to educate and make people aware of what's going on with big pharma. So talk to that for us.
Well, for the boogeyman in the orange bottle, I actually had 9 medical people. I had 2 pharmacists, an accountant for a clinic outside of Syracuse, a good doctor friend of mine for University of Medicine in Syracuse. What else was there? There was a farm rep, and 2 pharmacists, and they basically let me interview them. And then I met with the doctor from UCLA when I was in LA. We've been talking for a year. He found me actually when he saw what I was going through. But I actually met with him when I was in LA last month. And he told me flat out, he was like, look, he tried to bring it up 15 years ago. They told him to shut up.
Wow.
He foresaw this problem 15 years ago that this country's in now. And they told him to shut up.
Wow. Yeah. And it is a problem. A lot of people just, especially, when you look at the statistics of the U.S., the obesity in the U.S., the unhealthiness in the U.S., and doctors are just they're not trying to help you get better. They're just giving you something to placate the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to teach you how to eat better, how to exercise. Yes, we hear it, but how many doctors are really pushing that instead of writing that script out every time?
Yeah, and on my radio show, Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on iHeartRadio, this past Sunday, I had my doctor friend from Syracuse University. He came up, and he specializes in wellness and holistic medicine. And even he acknowledged the fact that, like, he still has a job to do with, prescribing the pills. But most of it is, and he's gotten to the point where he's trying to now treat the problem instead of saying, okay, look, I'm going to give you these, go home. He gives you alternatives. And then he said he'll prescribe the pills now, but only in portions that make sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the nonprofit that you're starting, and just let us know what your journey is going forward and what you're trying to do as far as bringing awareness.
Okay. Well, the nonprofit is going to be called the Teams Foundation.
Okay.
And it's going to deal with the prescription drug dependency with a specialization in benzodiazepines.
Okay.
I'm going to be the change that I couldn't get, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in California in June for 5 days. I'm going to be going back for a week in September, and it'll probably be every 3 months going forward from there.
Wow.
There's a woman out there, Monica Bennett. She's going to be the one who's writing the language to file for the 501c.
Okay.
And that should actually be filed within the next 14 days. Like I said, I'll be back out there in September. And then I found out LeBron's a Laker now, so I actually got to have something to do when I'm out there.
I'm a Lakers fan. I was not a LeBron fan, but
I'm not a LeBron fan
I'll
either.
take him.
Yeah, I said the same thing. So I'm gonna be out there. I might as well see the show. But
so the name of your foundation is going to be the Teens Foundation.
Yeah.
And tell me, so you want to bring awareness. Are there any type of services that you're going to be offering?
We're going to focus on possibly getting centers that are, having hospitals have specially trained physicians that can treat people going through benzo withdrawal. And on top of that, it's going to come with an 800 number. The 800 number should actually be up and running before September.
Okay.
To where people can get to me everywhere.
So actually, you're going to be providing, you're hoping to have a medical staff to help provide assistance in the withdrawal process. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And,
okay. All right.
With the foundation, they'll have a direct line to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's, my phone number's out there. Like, I'm not shy with that at all. In fact, that's an issue now because, people talk about me and are afraid to say my name, and I'm not hard to find. That's why it bothered me.
Okay. Hey, why don't you tell us a phone number in case anyone in the audience would like to contact you?
Okay, it's 585-456-6109, and that's 24/7. If I'm up, I answer. If not, shoot me a text. I'll call you back.
All right, I will post that number for everyone. Wow. Hey, Erick, I really commend you. It takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing and take on Big Pharma. You won't be the first, but I commend you. And especially when you say that there is no help for someone that's addicted to these how is it pronounced again?
Benzodiazepine.
Benzodiazepine. Okay. And for you to take on the task of creating this foundation and providing a place for others that are going through something similar that you've gone through, I commend you on that. It's just amazing, your story, what you went through. I read your book, and I recommend everyone, if you get a chance, please order this book. Once again, it's called The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle. It's an eye-opener. It's a short read, but it's information that will just leave you like, whoa,
Yeah.
Because this is a serious epidemic in this country, and one person can't do it alone. We need to be educated, and we need to understand what's happening.
Yeah. The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle is actually a series. Part 2, I'm going to start writing it in April.
Okay. All right.
And, the name of Part 2 is The Boogeyman in the Orange Bottle, Chess, Not Checkers.
Okay. All right. We got to look for that. All right. A series. So, and I know that Erick, we talked before this, and Erick had tried to write this book the year that he went through the withdrawal. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete it because of all that he went through. So yeah. I'm glad that your book is out there, and I hope people get it. I hope people get educated and understand what's going on. What advice would you like to leave people with that are dealing with health issues and dealing with doctors that are giving them prescription? What would you like to leave them with?
First, don't let anyone tell you how great you are.
Okay.
That's just life advice. I think that helped me, because I know throughout my entire life, like, people told me I wasn't going to be this, I wasn't going to be that. I turned out greater. So, okay. Second, know what you're taking. Do not let them give you something and tell you what it's going to do. Please do the research.
Yes.
Know what it is, inside out, upside down, backwards, and covered in paint.
Oh, I hope we didn't lose you, Erick. Okay, looks like we lost Erick, but hopefully he'll jump back on before we close out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we lost you for a second. Glad you're back. Can you hear me, Erick? Erick?
Shannon?
I'm here, Eric. Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you, Eric.
Shannon?
I can hear you. Okay, so
Shannon?
I'm still here, Eric.
I can hear you, Eric. Okay, you got me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so basically, know what they're giving you.
Okay, so I'm still here, Eric.
Okay, so what I want to say is like,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, so basically, know what they're giving you. Okay, so what I want to say is like,
yeah, just turn down your volume in the background and continue, Eric.
Let me kill that. Okay, yeah, so what I want to say, know what they're giving you, please. You know, make sure they explain it upside down, backwards, forwards, and covered in paint. Have them explain the side effects, the getting off of it, and like how much of a change it's going to do to you. Once more, have an action plan for a period of time that you feel comfortable with, because remember, these things aren't to fix you, they're just to help cope with what you're going through. And always look into alternatives before you let them hook you on anything.
Right. That is great advice. Great advice that I follow today. Know what they're giving you, understand what you're giving you, find out if there's an alternative. Do your research. That's the key. Do your research. This is your body, and only you are going to be the advocate for your body. So it's very important. Eric, once again, thank you for sharing with us. I wish you a lot of success in creating your foundation. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Definitely glad you came on today. So did you want to just say any last words before we close out? Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Definitely glad you came on today. So did you want to just say any last words before we close out?
Hold on, we got a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Okay. Last words would be just, everybody, we're already the greatest people on earth. Don't let them drug us.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, join me next Saturday, July 22nd at 4 p.m. As I interview and have a discussion with the author of The Shadow of Evil, Where is God in a Violent World? The author is Jeffrey Davis. Jeffrey Davis lost his mother to the BTK serial killer in Wichita, Kansas. He went on a killing spree in the 70s. He took a little break, and then he continued murdering women into the 90s. And Jeffrey Davis's mother was his last victim. He uses his journey from the depths of despair to ultimately gaining a sense of restoration and hope in his life. He wants to serve as an example to others that not only does he understand their pain and grief when going through the loss of a loved one, but he has come through that lonely journey to find some sense of solace and renewal on the other side. I'm really looking forward to interviewing Jeffrey. He has a very powerful story to tell. So join us here next Saturday. That's going to be July 22nd at 4 p.m. And that's Jeffrey Davis. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Eric, for sharing. And until next week, you have a blessed day.